Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever you are. It's noon here. I'm in Central Time, so that's where I'm operating out of. But I'm super happy to be with you guys today as we talk about digital strategy predictions for 2026. So, again, thank you for joining today, whether you are here live or you're watching this later. If you are here live, I'd love to see who's here. So, feel free to drop in the comments where you're coming from today, what you're excited to learn about today, maybe even what you do. That become a fun thing to do too. Maybe you can meet some new friends in the comment section and do some networking that way. So the goal today is fairly simple. I just want to walk through what I see as the top 5 trends in the world of digital strategy and specifically sales and marketing, right? So I want to talk about the trends that I'm seeing or, the big changes I see coming in 2026, talk about the impact it might have on your business, and talk about some things that you could do to help prepare yourself and be successful in the new year. So again, feel free to drop anything in the comments here. I'm checking it out, and I will try and keep tabs on things. I'd love to have time at the end for Q&A too. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them directly into the chat, and I will either answer them on the fly if it's super relevant, or I will answer them at the end of the show here, presentation. So without further ado, let's get started here, and I will walk through my predictions for this new year. So let's make my face smaller and let's pop right in. So if you don't know me, my name is James Roloff. I've been doing this digital thing now for about 20 plus years, building out websites, doing digital marketing, leading sales teams. So all sorts of things at the intersection of sales, marketing, and digital strategy. And I run Roloff Consulting, and along with my team, and we do great work when it comes to helping businesses show up online, build authority, build that really valuable trust, and of course, grow your sales. And we have our consultants at our business. We also have the Catalyst community, which is for individuals who want to join that too. So I can talk more about that at the end. But the moral of the story is my job is to help you be successful online. So that is why I'm here today, is to give you, again, my predictions of what I see happening in the year. So one thing I thought would be kind of fun to start with before we even talk about my 2026 predictions is I have a blog post from last year about 2025 predictions, and I thought maybe we'll walk through those. I only did 3 last year, so a little bit simpler. So I'm going to walk through the 3 that I had. I'm going to try and grade myself. Obviously, you can grade me in the comments to tell me how I did now that we have a full 12 months under our belt. But number one post or prediction I had was that social algorithms will dial in on relevancy, as in they're going to focus less on producing viral content and more on relevant content for individuals. So what's this mean for you? Focus on building a true community and a large audience. I would give myself like a solid B here. I think most platforms move towards that. LinkedIn certainly did. They moved to this idea of not wanting to show you viral content and dialing much more in on who's actually in your network. X, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, X definitely did this. They've been tweaking the algorithm pretty drastically to stop people from gamifying it, to get views, to get additional money and revenue coming in. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, I would say like kinda, maybe. So again, I give myself a B on that. If you have other thoughts on that, feel free to drop that into the chat too. My number 2 prediction was organic search gets even harder. So I said organic search will continue to face significant challenges. The rise of AI-driven search engines, AI-generated results will reshape how users find information. Combined with the dominance of paid search, this trend will continue to reduce organic opportunities and clicks. And this is definitely true. I'd give myself an A on this if I'm patting myself on the back. But it's definitely been the case. Google rolled out a new user interface for their paid search. So paid search results actually show up even more prominent and are harder to tell that they're paid search versus organic. So a lot more clicks are going towards paid. Obviously, we've all seen little AI snippets that were rolled out this last year too, so that you don't see any actual results until you're scrolling down like 3/4 down the page. And those AI results give you information too, which leads to less clicks, because if you get your answers answered up above, you're not going to scroll down to actually click onto a website. So That's definitely been the case. And my third and final prediction, which retroactively looking at it kind of sucks, is that fast execution wins. I basically said, like, the businesses who take action will have the advantage in 2025. And I say this sucks because it's kind of always true, right? When I look back on this, like, the point I was trying to make is that things are happening so fast now, and the world is even getting deeper into AI. Um, and there was more changes happening in social algorithms going into this last year, that my point was more just like, you got to execute. You can't wait for things, wait for knowledge, wait for the right time, that kind of thing. um, and I still think that's true. I just wouldn't call that a prediction. So I'm not going to even grade myself there, but if anyone else feels like it, go ahead and do that too. So without further ado, let's talk about my 2026 predictions. And like I said, I'm going to walk through my top 5 predictions. I'm going to talk about what it is, the impact of it, and then what you should be doing in your business to prepare for it. So, number 1, not surprisingly, AI related. And that is that Google is going to primarily roll out AI results and use the AI search function. So, to clarify this is not just the AI snippet at the top of the search results page. Google has a whole separate AI search function, not Gemini, that is called Google AI mode. And you can demo it yourself right now by going to google.com/AI. And I highly recommend you do this too. So you can actually look and see what's showing up when people search terms related to your business. But my prediction here is that Google will start using AI mode for most results by the end of 2026. So 12 months from now, we're sitting down. A lot of times when you type things into Google, you will enter AI mode, which is something totally different and a different experience than you're getting now. So beyond AI summaries, it's actually just like traditional results will get pushed out completely to a very different user interface. So let's talk about the impact of this. If this comes true, you can expect a lot less clicks on informational queries, because answers will come directly into the AI functionality. People get their information and they will never even click onto any other website in general. A lot less traffic on how-to content, things that are kind of spelled out directly for you. Basically, if your content is simple information, I would expect that you will not get clicks at anymore. And I know some people that do SEO for some very large organizations, and they get a lot of clicks on informational research stuff, and they are panicking because of the fact that this is going to drastically affect their ability to get clicks on Google. This also means that higher value will be placed on brand recognition and niche authority. So if people know you and they're searching for you and your authority, you're going to show up really well here, because number one, you're going to show up on the side of this AI functionality. But number two, people are going to seek you directly. They're not going to have to look for just general information. They're going to want your information, which is going to change the way you show up in search results. For sure, we'll talk about this in a second too, but more video and PR visibility. So that's something that shows up again and again in these AI results, is that press release, brand mentions, videos, all those types of things tend to show up more prominently just than general text posts and blog posts. So that's the impact. Let's talk about how you should adapt to it. So knowing this is coming, or if I'm right, knowing that it's coming, things you should be doing: creating content targeted to specific queries. Do not do broad topics anymore. Again, do not go for that broad swath of information. Be very specific about the kind of content you're creating, the problem you're solving with it, and who your audience is for it. Build more brand mentions. So press releases, like I mentioned down below there, partnerships. Basically, the more you can get your brand out there, like your brand, either your name brand or your company brand, the better. Definitely invest in video content. If you're not already doing that, I mean, this is something that this is a horse that I will beat, even though it's already dead, and that is that video is super important. Because that's going to show up very differently in the world of AI results, because you will actually show up as something people to watch. And it's kind of one of those like next step things. So how I'm seeing it right now, again, you can try it out yourself on Google AI mode. But if you go to Google AI and you search for different topics related to what you do, I bet you'll start seeing some videos pop up on the side. So if you are creating video, you're kind of providing that next click off of the AI results for people to dive deeper. And that's kind of how I see using video content in this world, or in this particular part of AI search. And then finally, make product, service, and local signals extremely clear. This is kind of more of a website thing, but making sure that it's very clear what you do, what the services are, what the product is, what the specs are. That's the kind of stuff that people are lower down in the funnel. So not general top of funnel early problem awareness, but when they're actually looking for solutions and ready to make a decision, if they're using AI mode and they're searching for services or products related to what you do, having a website that clearly articulates that will mean that you might show up for that too. So that's really the importance there. This is truly SEO, but it's AI optimization too. This is kind of that blending area, but you want to make sure it's very clear what you do so that you do get crawled and you are able to be listed when people ask, like, hey, I'm looking for a commercial painting company here in Madison, Wisconsin. Um, your name will show up if your website actually talks about you doing commercial painting jobs, right? So, long story short, that's what you're doing. Prediction number 2: short form video continues to dominate. This is not surprising, but I want to call this out because it is super important that if you're not doing short form video, you are drastically hurting your strategy. Because this is something that's going to continue to play a major role in online visibility. So again, video remains the most powerful way to get attention online. So TikToks, Reels, Shorts, LinkedIn video, they just keep expanding, and all of these platforms are making that kind of content more and more. Let me rephrase that. All these platforms are optimizing their user experience to showcase more short form video. I'm sure they see it on the back end of things when it comes to advertising dollars, that if they show more, if these platforms show more short form video, they have users who are staying on the platform longer. They're more engaged, which means they can sell more ads to these people, right? Or the audience, right? So you, as a business owner, a salesperson, a marketing person, a creator, whatever you are, you want to make sure you are absolutely doing a short form video strategy so you can actually have some visibility here in this new world. So the impact: higher visibility for leaders who teach on camera. Just mentioned that. Faster trust building through real faces and real voices. Again, in the world of AI, you actually talking is something that's really important. Of course, we all know coming down the pipeline that AI avatars are something people are going to use. I see people already using it, and it's yucky and it's gross because it's not very well done yet. But in the future, you might be able to give a text prompt to a computer, and it'll have your voice and your face talking about things. I'm just trying to make the point right here. In 2026, you showing up authentically online, talking to a camera is still going to be a really important part of standing out. Organic reach is still available for those who show up consistently. And again, this is important. I'll talk about later. But the world of getting organic reach is getting harder and harder every day. And short form video is one way to make sure you can still get organic reach. I've seen people start a short form video strategy, and within 2 to 3 months, they're already getting hundreds and thousands of views on things. And again, starting from zero. I know people who are getting millions of views on things. Might be people who work with us. But that is one thing that you can still rely on, that you can get some organic reach if you're doing a short form video content. So now let's talk about how you can adapt. Record simple videos on a regular basis that teach one idea, so one specific idea at a time. Again, this goes back to AI relevancy, that if you're answering a question or having one single topic, you will do really well. Move subject matter experts into your brand online. So what I'm saying, what I mean by this is, we have a handful of clients that we consult with that they have some really good subject matter experts on their team, but those people aren't consistently showing up on video. They just are there to talk to clients when they need to be talked to, or even their executive team. Like they just they're pop on Zoom calls. They might author a blog post here and there. That's not going to cut it. You want the people who are your subject matter experts, who can truly represent your brand, showing up on video on a regular basis, and not just coming from marketing, not just branded marketing content, truly subject matter experts talking to camera. And then, of course, repurpose these videos across different platforms. So you might find one platform works best for your business, but it is a good idea to repurpose that content across different platforms. So hopefully all that makes sense. Pop in here. Some comments are coming in. This is good. Weston's showing up from Madison, Wisconsin. Strange. I thought he's in Colorado. Got Josh showing up here. He's from Starbucks in a rainy Seattle. That seems very fitting for Seattle's to be in a Starbucks. Got Laura, less clicks equals genius. Yes, the clicks are going away, which is the unfortunate part. So, all right, let's pop back in here and let's keep talking. Let's keep talking about predictions and doing number 3. And I lost my screen. Oh no. Let me pull up here. Okay. So number 3 is way down here. Sorry, this is a struggle bus today. All right. AI agents are going to reshape online behavior. I'm not talking, and I hesitated to even put more AI stuff in here because everyone is sick of talking about AI. But the reality is, if you are in charge of sales or marketing for a business, you need to be hyper aware of these trends. And AI is massively disrupting a lot of things in life, but definitely sales and marketing too. So even though I started with an AI thing, about Google AI mode, I'm going to talk about AI again because AI agents are going to change the way we're doing things. If you're not familiar with AI agents, this is not chatbots. This is not like going to ChatGPT and asking it questions. These are actual bots that you interact with that can actually execute things on platforms. So ChatGPT or OpenAI does have an AI agent, but is not just using ChatGPT, if that makes sense. Basically, these are actual AI interfaces you can talk to, and they will take action on your behalf. So AI agents, the prediction, will research, compare, navigate websites for users, and businesses will start to deploy more AI agents directly on their website too. So the impact of this, of course, is that buyers are going to start using them. So if you are not optimizing your website, if you are not trying them yourselves for your business, you are going to start to fall behind on a user experience perspective. Because buyers are going to start using AI chatbots or AI agents for actually doing research and moving beyond research, actually making purchases. I had my initial slide here. Amazon's Rufus, that's their AI tool. It's for information gathering, but they're also making it allow it to like put things in your cart for you. And it kind of goes a step further, right? And reorder things for you. This is an AI agent. It's a prime example of how to use that prime is Amazon's Rufus. So this is something that is absolutely going to start impacting things. And the businesses that do this will be the ones that will start to benefit from it. So just like showing up in AI visibility, actually allowing your website to be navigable by an AI agent or implementing an AI agent yourself on your website will help a lot. I'll talk about that here in a second too. So what should you do as a business to make sure that you're good for this? Make your website extremely easy for AI to interpret. So again, going back to the earlier point, your product page, your services page, all that kind of stuff. Make sure that it's easily crawlable by these tools, which mostly comes back to SEO best practices, right? Making sure that the development is good at your website, you're using the correct tags on it, and that it's something that if a screen reader, this is kind of take a step back here. My background is in website design development. I had a company there, and there was a lot of stuff around ADA compliance, American Disability Act compliance, and that was basically if a blind person went to your website and they used a screen reader to tell them what was on it, they could navigate via screen reader. That was something you wanted to be compliant in that, right? But most of that came back to good website content and good development. That means that like when a screen reader, not a person's eyeballs, but a screen reader goes across your screen, can they understand what is the menu and what's not the menu? What does that image mean if they can't tell the images, right? So again, when you think about your website, make sure that it's navigable by robots because that's going to make a difference as far as these agents actually going out and using your website. Create content that answers common questions so that these AI agents can get information, but they can also source you as information, use structured data. That's what I was basically talking about, is making sure your data is structured. It's probably a faster and easier way of saying it than I did. Explore custom AI agents for sales support and onboarding. This kind of falls into build a knowledge base AI can use for your brand. I've done this for our clients before. I have multiple clients where I've actually installed AI bots on their website. And that only works if you have a bunch of information. If you have good educational content and resources and things like that, installing a bot like that is a really effective way to actually allow your customers to interact with a tool that is specific to your business and the information about your products and your services. Another example of this, I wouldn't call it an agent necessarily, but in our community, the Catalyst community, we have Larry the bot. So he's Larry the Lurker. This is him right here. I'll show you a picture of him. This is Larry. He is a chatbot on our website that if someone in the community is looking for certain information, like how do I create a TikTok video? How do I add subtitles to a video? How do I come up with content ideas? They can ask Larry, the bot, and he's trained on all of our information in our community all the past conversations in our weekly calls and all these different things. So he can give answers specific based on the query, as well as source the information too. So long story short, you can build out custom bots for your business if you have a lot of information. If you have 5 pages on your website and you don't have any blog posts and you have no knowledge base at all, that's not going to be effective, right? It's not going to be specific to you and your business. So long story short, when it comes to adapting for these AI bots, structure your website data really good. Make sure that these AI agents can actually go onto your website and navigate it. Again, think in terms of if a person was blind and using some sort of tool like that, could they actually navigate your website? So structure your data, have good content on there, and then again, explore doing a custom bot for your own website, for your own business. Okay, prediction number 4, and that is that deep expertise becomes mandatory for visibility. And this is coming, almost directly from Google. And that is that your expertise and authority and trust is going to be a major factor in visibility online. That's in Google search, but it also applies to social platforms too. And platforms are going to prioritize human expertise signal over generic content. Um, I bet you're probably not surprised to know that, because as everyone can go online right now and go into ChatGPT or go into Gemini, go into Claude and say, write me a blog post about how to grow a houseplant, right? Anyone can create any random blog post at this point, which means to stand out, you need to be uniquely an expert in something. You need to have authority in something. So that's a really important thing to think about, is what is the content that I know best, that I know better than most people. When I say most people, I don't mean need to be the number one researcher in your industry. I just mean when you're talking to your customers, what is the valuable information that you can provide them, and focus on producing that content again and again and again. So what's the impact going to be on this? General blog posts are going to lose visibility. Real voices and clear opinions are going to rise. That's a really good point I want to make too, is that it's not just your expertise and the knowledge, it's also your opinions, right? Like right now, I'm sharing my top 5 predictions for digital strategy in 2026. These are opinions, right? And if you're watching this, you care enough about my opinion to log on and watch this. But I also have decades of experience in digital strategy. So this is why I feel like I can kind of see what's coming. But so it's kind of a mix of expertise as well as opinions, but it's another good way to show up online. Clearly having niche is a good way to have that visibility lever too. And then the other point here, this is something that we, really, really focus on at Roll Off Consulting, and that is that thought leadership becomes a sales advantage. If you are in a selling environment, if you're in business development of any type, again, if you run your own business, or if you're in sales, or if you're in marketing where you're somewhat client facing, thought leadership is a massive, massive advantage. People are not going to commoditize you against your competitors, right? If your product is $1,000 and your competitor's product is $800, they're still going to pick you because you have that expertise built through your thought leadership practice. So this is a massive, massive lever you can pull too. So how do you adapt? Some of the same things we've already been talking about, but teach consistently: videos, presentations, case studies, blog posts, guides. Any way you can teach, the better. Take clear positions in your content. Don't just kind of put out wishy-washy thoughts. Actually say, here's what I believe, here's why I believe it, here's the experience I have that did that. Again, this goes back to Google's best practices for search optimization too, that the more you can say, here is something that I saw with a client, or here's something that we did, that is going to elevate you when it comes to online visibility. Show real people behind the brand. Again, something I mentioned earlier, but continue to bring people forward. Examples, frameworks. So again, kind of the same things that we were talking about earlier. Hopefully you can see some common themes here, right? The people who show up authentically online and build authority, they will do well with a lot of these things. And it's just kind of a matter of continuing to do that and doubling down on that too. Okay, the final prediction. What do you guys think? Is it going to be about AI? I'll put that out there in the chat if anyone thinks that. If you think it's going to be about AI, if you think that I'm going to have 3 out of 5 of my predictions be about AI, let me tell you, you're wrong. Prediction number 5 is that owned audiences are going to become non-negotiable. So if you're not familiar with that term, an owned audience, that means people that you can contact whenever you want to, however you want to, right? And you're not relying on search visibility, organic search rankings. You're not relying on the LinkedIn news feed to show you in front of people, or the TikTok feed. These are people that are on your email list. You have their phone number. probably your email list is kind of the standard way of doing this, right? They're in your CRM. These are people that you know who they are and you have their contact information. So the prediction here, businesses can't rely on volatile algorithms. Own channels become the stable source of growth. Again, I'm seeing this, kind of across the board in different groups I'm a part of, that the algorithms are all over the place. We have some of our own videos, but internally with M&I, we have videos that will pop up hundreds of thousands of views one week, and then the next post will be 1,000 views, and there's no way of controlling it, obviously, and you can't build a successful recurring strategy on just organic like that anymore. I'm not that old, but I've been doing the internet thing for a while, and I come from, I remember even between 2010 and 2017, you could just pretty consistently rely on good organic search. If you're ranking top 3, you kept doing blog posts, you kept building links, doing all that kind of stuff, and you maintain that position, you could you could forecast pretty well what your clicks are going to be on search in this case, but same thing with like Facebook and that kind of thing too. We're getting nowadays, there's so much more noise, and the algorithms are so much more ever changing, let's put it that way, that you can't rely on that as your single thing. So you have to own your list. You have to get people to convert. So impact, less organic reach. I just talked about that. Less predictable traffic. I just talked about that. Paid ads also become more expensive. And this is kind of a prediction within a prediction. But as paid reach becomes more important when organic tends to go away, I think that the paid ads will start getting bid up and it'll start being more expensive. I'll even give you a prediction within a prediction here, and that is that you're going to see a lot more ads in things like ChatGPT and in things like Google AI mode. These AI platforms are going to start optimizing for ads. They're going to start thinking about ways to update the user interface so when you're in ChatGPT and you're asking about a certain product or a certain service or you have a certain problem, it might start prompting you with ads on the side of it. So I'd be prepared for that. And so if you're a business without an email list, you're going to fall behind because you're not going to be able to reach your customers on a regular basis. So surprise, surprise, how you should do this, how you should adapt to it. Build lead magnets with solving a clear problem that provide clear value that you can use for lead generation. As you get that lead generation, you will grow and nurture your email list. You will grow your list from, initially starting out. You can easily grow a list by a couple hundred or a couple thousand people a year. I'm talking about small businesses, right? That you should be able to grow an email list from 0 people to 250 people in your first 6 to 9 months of doing email marketing. If you're a larger business, you can grow a lot faster than that because you can start doing things like throwing ad dollars behind lead magnets and things like that. So long story short, you want to make sure that you're growing and nurturing that email list. Once you have that list, send things out consistently. The minimum you should be emailing your customers is once a month, but I've been encouraging our clients to do it once a week because that's a good way to stay on top of mind of people. Yes, you will get more unsubscribes by hitting people more often, but as long as your newsletters provide value, that's kind of the key. Because if someone unsubscribes from newsletters that are providing valuable content to them, those people probably aren't the right fit for your business anyways. But if you have a contact list or an email list that's full of people who are the right fit for you, and let's just say 3 out of every 4 emails you send is really focused on good educational content, people are going to stick around and it'll actually allow you to nurture those people and help fill up your pipeline that way too. Which goes into like the last 2 notes there, right? So use your CRM, track people, track your pipeline, track your contacts, make sure that you know who's on your list. You can segment your list based on industry or behavior or product options. The more you can take that own list and leverage it for your sales and marketing efforts, the better. Because again, you can't just rely on organic leads coming through the same way you could before. Okay, so to recap, my top 5 predictions for 2026. Google's AI mode will be the primary user experience by the end of the year for most searches. Short form video continues to dominate the feeds. AI agents are going to reshape user experience and online behavior. Deep expertise is going to be required for visibility going forward, and owned audiences are going to become non-negotiable. So those are my thoughts, my predictions. There's more things happening. And as we saw at the beginning, my predictions aren't perfect. There's definitely more things happening in this new year. And again, Nick, you could do a top 10 predictions just on what AI is going to do in digital strategy in the next year. You can do one just on social algorithms. You could do one just on email marketing, right? Um, but again, I mentioned it earlier, but I truly believe that it comes down to if you just kind of go back to like first principles. Are you an expert at what you do? Are you sharing that expertise online to a specific audience? Are you building trust and showing people how to solve their problems and how you can help them? If you are doing these kind of basic things and doing it consistently, creating content on a regular basis, it will win out in the end. Like this is kind of the big idea, right? Is that you need to be a leader in your space, creating content, building authority, building trust, and then that will lead to you growing your revenue. It isn't that complex at the end of the day. It's more just a matter of getting started, and if you're already doing it, to keep doing it, right? And I know some people. I'm seeing some names pop up here. Like there's some people on here who definitely do a good job of that. That on a regular basis show up. I'm just going to highlight Dave now because he was look at Dave's here. Hello, Dave. Dave's a great example of that. He's got a great newsletter. He does video content. He does interviews on his topic. So these are all the things that show up on a regular basis. So if you keep doing that, that will help you be successful in this new era. So those are my predictions. I'd love if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I will get to them either now if you're live or if you're watching this in the future. I will get a notification. I will come back and answer your questions. If you want to talk to me directly, feel free to shoot me a DM. I have my email listed there too. I'd love to set up a time to talk about you and your business and what's going on, whether it's just answering questions you have or kind of diving deeper into anything. Obviously, at Roll Off Consulting, we help businesses do this stuff. We help them show up with authority online. That's kind of the bread and butter of our consulting practice. We also have the Catalyst community too. So it's a group of business leaders who are out there trying to create content, build their businesses, build authority. We have calls, we have master classes. It's kind of a nice peer community to work with other people as you execute on the strategy. So it's another thing to check out that I'd be happy to talk to you about as well. So I will stop there. And if there's any questions, again, I will answer them now. Otherwise, I appreciate you coming today. Hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully I didn't scare you with things that might be coming down the pipeline. I see it as an opportunity. I see it as leaders who are willing to kind of pick up this strategy and run with it. They're going to be successful, and it's going to reshape a lot of stuff of what is happening online. And if you don't fear it, but you embrace it and you kind of become resilient to that change, you'll be successful. So I think if I'm putting my happy, optimistic hat on, there's a lot of opportunity out there for you if you are willing to do it. So I don't see any immediate questions. So thank you. So thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. And again, if you have any questions at all, just reach out and I'd be happy to talk to you and help you. Thank you and have a great day.